Hello and welcome to what is episode 4 of our podcast. So hopefully you guys are either sat down with a nice cup of tea and ready to have a listen, or maybe you're driving somewhere and just stick this on in the background while you're driving, have a nice listen to what we're talking about, what we're thinking about, and you can add in the comments down below what you guys want to think too, though not if you're driving, wait till you get to wherever you're going to. What's today's question again?
Today's question is, it's kind of, what are your thoughts on childcare? Because as we're doing this right now, you'll notice Noah's car seat is facing the other way, which means he's not here. And yeah, what are your thoughts on childcare?
Because I think it's quite a massive question, that really, because I know for lots of people childcare involves grandparents.
Family. Yeah, family.
Like having grandparents that live nearby and, you know, drop them off for an afternoon or a day here and there. And that's great, but I know for lots of people like us, they're not in that position to have that either because grandparents work or they live far away or both in our case. And so it's just not really an option. And I know when we first, you always were going to go back to work full time when we had Noah.
Yeah.
That was never, we had a look at it as an option, but it never was a long-term thought, was it?
No.
It was like we just couldn't afford it. And so Noah always was going to go into nursery full time, but I know when we first put him into nursery, we were very much like, on the holidays he wouldn't go into nursery.
Yeah.
It would just be during term time. And then as we got through, I think at Christmas he didn't go in at all, or half term in his first year, October half term, Christmas. February half term we were away. It was Easter when he first went in during the holidays, because they asked, is he going to? Because I know when he went back after Christmas he actually struggled going back.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
We'd never really thought at that point, had we?
No, we weren't going to do it, but then we did it, and actually it was brilliant.
Do you know what though? I do remember them saying, his key worker at the time did say, like, it's just not, he's really struggled, hasn't he? Because he'd just done, because obviously Easter was 2 weeks off, and it was just, he did 1 day 1 week and 1 day another week, so he still ended up having like a week's gap overall.
Yeah.
And she said on both the days he'd really struggled and was attached to her, wasn't he?
He did, though. I think a lot of that first one he struggled because it was very different to what he was used to. Like, there were no other kids, or there weren't many other kids there. Yeah. Whereas normally it was for the kids.
And I would say at the time as well, he was very needy.
Oh, like, way more attached to us than he is now.
Not confident at all.
Yeah.
Attached to Georgia.
Yeah. But I think putting him in and giving him that time has helped a lot. But I think it's also helped us a lot.
Yeah.
Like yesterday and today when he's been in nursery, we don't put him in nursery a huge amount, but like he's in 8 days in total this summer holiday.
Yeah, blocks of 2.
And it just gives us those couple of days where we don't have to rely on anyone else to have him for a night or have him for an afternoon or something. Like, we're not under a massive amount of time pressure.
And you also I feel guilty, like the only people really that are close by that we would ask are my mum and dad, but they're an hour and a half away.
Close by, yeah.
My brother and his wife, but that wouldn't be for overnight because they've got a dog.
Yeah.
And then we've got friends that we would ask.
Yeah.
But again, that would be like exceptional circumstances.
And they've got their own kids.
Yeah.
That type of thing. It's a hard one to balance, as I'm sure lots of you guys that are parents will know and work out as you move through having a kid, if you're expecting a kid. It's a hard one to balance, and I know it's a tricky one with the guilt thing, because you do feel guilty putting him into nursery when you're off, when we could have a day with him, but it balances out with the benefits he gets of socialising with the kids, because the worst, like, my fear is always that he's going to grow up as an only child and either not be able to socialise with other kids or not be able to get along with other kids.
Yeah, can't share and things.
And like because he can share, he does good at that, and we do, but doing it with adults is very different to doing it independently with kids. And the only way he gets that when he's with us is either when we go see a friend who's got kids, or...
Not many, though, that we have friends who do. Handful.
And so it's in nursery is the best time he does it. But this is... I mean, we've only just started talking about it, but this is what I mean by there's such a massive question about childcare, is that, like, to you guys, childcare might be grandparents, it might be brothers and sisters, it might be uncles and aunties, it might be nursery.
Yeah.
Like, what does childcare mean to you, and how do you utilise it? Do your kids go in full time? Do they go in a few days a week? Do they go in 1 day? Because I know, like, when we drop him off normally at nursery, because he goes every day, he runs in the door and it's a great time. But you often see some other parents with
Well,
the
like
kids
how he
struggling
was
to go in.
yesterday.
You like he was
Yeah.
yesterday, yeah.
Yesterday he had a little whinge, but then when we picked him up, it was new room, new routine, and she said he was lovely, really good.
Yeah, he had a great time.
Yeah.
But I think that's where the parents that drop the kids off every couple of days a week, not every day, they struggle a bit more to go in because they're not used to it. It's not their normal routine, and their normal routine is being at home, isn't it? And so the kids struggle a bit more to go in, but I'm sure once they're in, they're absolutely fine, like he is.
I think it's a privilege though as well, isn't it? Like, because obviously when he's not in nursery, we're not going to have this thing we can rely on.
No.
Because I'd never send him to a summer school or anything like that.
See, I wouldn't send him to a summer school, but I feel like, you know, when you see them like let's say he got into football and was playing football, it feels like he wanted to go to a football camp.
Yeah.
Where they did like a 9 till 3.
Yeah, that's different though, isn't it?
For a week on a summer holiday.
Yeah.
I'd do something like that with him if he wanted to, but it would definitely be...
It's all around his interest at that point though, isn't it?
Yeah. Depends what he gets into as he gets older.
Uh-huh.
I want him to get into football.
Me too.
If you watch this when you're older, Noah, I want you to get into football.
Their Uncle Matthew wants you to be a golfer, so you can go to the Masters.
so he can go to the Masters. But yeah, and it is a privilege to be able to afford to do it as well.
Yeah.
Because it is not cheap nursery, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that don't put their kid through nursery not because they don't want to, but because they can't afford to.
Yeah, so many wait until you get the free 15 or 30 hours.
Yeah.
We were hours over the moon. Got the bill through on my birthday this month, and it was literally half of what we pay because he's only going in for 8 days, and it's what a delight.
Yeah. So we've got a spare bit of money now this month that we can do something with. Hopefully put it towards some holidays.
Yeah, for sure.
Something like that. But yeah, we're very lucky to have decent jobs or decent salaries at least, where we can afford to do what we do with him.
And we're very lucky that he loves going to nursery, because if he didn't love it, there's not a chance we'd be sending him more than we have to.
No.
But he adores it. He adores the people there. The people there are absolutely amazing with him.
And like you're saying, yesterday he struggled to go in the morning. Today he literally, we were waiting outside the door, and they came to open the door, and we were like, ready, steady, go. And he literally sprinted.
Yeah.
He sprinted in, ran in the door.
Oh, I find it so sad.
Like, you were trying to look at him, waiting for him to turn back and wave, and he didn't even look back, did he? He just ran straight in the door, walked off. He loves it.
I find it horrible, just because I never see it, because you always do the drop off. But it is the right thing to do. I know it is, because when I think there's been a big shift from me when I went back to work. I think prior to that, I was so attached.
Yeah.
And he was so attached.
Yeah.
And I think he does go through spells of it still, but he just loves it there, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. And I think the attachment thing's hard because he basically just gets attached to whoever he spends more time with. And unfortunately, because of you at work and the way your work works, you leave at 7 or just gone 7, don't you? Whereas
he's just getting up there.
I'm with him till 8 o'clock. 7, Well, 8 o'clock in the car, dropping him off. And then nowadays we mostly pick him up together, which is nice.
Yeah, but I would say for the first term, it was primarily you still. So I was just finding my feet again.
You were getting your head down at work, basically, weren't you? Getting as much done as you could.
And we always said that was going to happen. We knew that was the case.
Yeah.
But I think, looking ahead, the goal is for me to go part-time.
Oh, definitely one day.
I just think because I struggle more mentally with work than you do.
Yeah.
But I still think, and I think we've ummed and ahed over this, but I still feel that when that does happen for me, he will still do full-time at nursery, because I think it's the right thing, not just for him, but for us as well.
Yeah. Because
we talk about how beneficial it is for Noah, but actually it's so beneficial for us. Just having that 6-7 hours off once, twice a week, every other week, we can be better parents for him because we're not tired.
And I think it was in the first episode of this podcast, someone put a question that we were answering about how we organise our life and planners and stuff, and we were talking about when you were off on maternity and you had that time, because obviously when you were tiny he just basically napped all the time, didn't he?
He did.
And you were so on it with everything, the house was spotless,
Yeah.
the life was organised, you were doing exercise, you were doing everything that you wanted to do
Yeah.
because you had the time and the energy to do it. And that's where, for him, he loves going to nursery, and for you, the best thing for you, like you're saying about when he is at home, to be the best parent for him is to have that time to organise yourself as well and to look after yourself.
Yeah, because I think every parent would feel like this, like there's always something you want to do extra. There's always something you could do, but you sacrifice it to spend time with your child. So it's just the way life is, isn't it?
And that's right, you have to. But I think similarly to teaching, the way lots and lots of teachers sacrifice everything in their own personal life just to be a good teacher, you can't sacrifice everything in your own ambitions to be a good parent. You can be a good parent while also having your own dreams and having your own goals and doing your own stuff. And sometimes the minute for us that means having some late nights doing stuff after he's gone to bed because we play with him and do stuff with him while he's awake.
Yeah.
But it also means at times like today, we've taken these 2 days to do our own thing and get our house organised. And
let me tell you,
have some time together.
I'm more tired now than I am when I normally am.
We had to drag ourselves off the sofa this morning, didn't we? To get up and start moving all that stuff around. Which, today's vlog is a fun one because we've shown you everything that we've done so far, and we will keep on showing you what we're doing in the house. But it definitely took some getting up and getting out. We could have quite easily, I feel like if we'd have had a good series to watch that we were hooked into, like if we'd have just started Hijack, we just finished watching Hijack.
I wouldn't have been doing this.
If we'd have just started that, we would have spent today sat on the sofa watching that, eating food, drinking coffee. Oh, it's round, isn't it? So that is childcare, and that's how we do it. We've pretty much explained how we do it now. But I think it's always intriguing hearing about how other people do it and giving people a space to be open about what they do, because
I do think as well for us, I think mum and dad now being back in a house, I hope, because they've got the room now to have Noah more, I'm hoping that that'll be an opportunity for him to see them more.
It might be, yeah. Wait and see how they get settled in.
Yeah.
I mean, they've literally only got the keys, haven't
they?
But fingers crossed something might happen there.
Yeah. I think this is it. When it comes down to it, we've always got Matthew and Aaliyah will always, if they can.
Oh yeah, if they need to.
Yeah.
But I think it's just hard on our part as well, because you say the whole thing about parental guilt of doing stuff for Noah, but you also have the thing of when you ask someone to have your kid, you're asking them quite a lot of stuff, and Aaliyah works with kids all day, Matt works all day.
Aaliyah literally works with kids Noah's age.
Yeah.
And we always said this prior to wanting kids, why would you want to come home and do that? And it's not her child to have to do that, but she loves him so much.
She does, and she's amazing because she does do it when we ask her to, but we're just conscious of not asking too much as well.
Yeah. Which is the right thing to do.
Take the mickey with it, do you?
No. But please do send in your thoughts, feelings, and what you guys do with childcare, and let us know if it's different to ours.
And have a read of what other people have said, because hopefully there'll be someone out there that does the same as what you do, because I think you always feel like you're the only person that does what you do, but I know there's actually going to be a lot of people out there that do the same as what we do. And today when we dropped them off at nursery and yesterday, you saw all these parents that are still dropping their kids off because they're not teachers, so they don't get summers off, so they've not had the last 2 weeks off with their kids.
Yeah.
They're still just going to work every day. Their kids are going into nursery every day, and we're blessed to have them 2 weeks that we've had, and now be able to have a couple of days to ourselves to get some stuff sorted while he's back in nursery, and then we get to go on holiday as well. So counting our chickens.
Clock.
And on that bombshell.
Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you soon for the next one.